Good morning and greetings from Northumberland on a very misty September morning. It is September the 11th, 9/11. And for me, this is a double day of memories because, first of all, it is exactly the second anniversary of my becoming the incumbent of this benefice and of these three parishes on the Northumberland coast. And I think back over these 2 years, which have been dominated by COVID and by the way in which we've had to adjust and develop. And we're now looking forward to this situation post the beginning of the pandemic and living with the pandemic. But of course, the greater anniversary is that of the events exactly 20 years ago that so many of us, certainly of my age, witnessed surprisingly unfolding in our news and on our TV screens on what was for us a September afternoon and a September morning for New York. We watched with paralyzed horror the scenes that we've all seen so many times, but which never cease to shock us, of the way in which those planes ploughed into the side of the centre, and we watched the destruction that followed. For me, I think the strongest image is not the image of destruction, but the image of the rescue workers, principally, of course, the fire service, the ambulance service, and the police service of the Federal District of New York, and watching those men, particularly men, because there were so many more men than women, continuing to walk in a determined fashion towards those towers, and then after the first tower fell, towards the one tower, to go in and to do what they could for the people who were there. And particularly after the first tower fell, those people knew that they must have been heading for a very dangerous place. And some of them may have felt that their death was almost inevitable. But they went forward to do their duty and to seek to bring relief. Those events can only unleash in us anger, frustration, and particularly coupled with the scenes we've seen in Afghanistan in the last few weeks, a sense of helplessness. In our Gospel today, in Luke chapter 6, beginning at verse 27 and going on to verse 38, Jesus speaks into that and says, love your enemies, pray for those who abuse you, do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is it? Even the sinners do that. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. These are powerful words, but these are also demanding words. But actually, the bottom line is that this way of living is the only way of living that can answer all the problems of our society and of our world. Christ speaks into the human situation and says that ultimately we have to find new ways of living and loving as Jesus did. I'm not trying to give easy and glib answers, but I am saying that we have to seek to find and to understand the answers and the commands that Jesus gives us. So we pray today for all victims of terror, for all fleeing terror at this time, for all who are responsible for our security and our safety. And we pray that God will bless us all.